What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here at my nemesis track, which is Brands Hatch. Now, Brands Hatch does make for some exciting racing, some good times, some incredible lap pace, and it's almost a perfect track. But the only thing about Brands Hatch is if you get it wrong, it can go south very, very fast. Now, as you can see, we are running the Valerio cursed livery here on the Honda NSX. Don't know who made this, but whoever made this, you have a sick twisted mind, but I dig it. Anyways, running around in the cursed livery, starting off in third place, right behind the two Canadians and the Brazilian in fourth. We're gonna see what we can finish off here as we get our 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So off of the final bend here, heading down the start finish line, we're gonna go into turn number 1, spot our braking point right after that 2 sign. I guess you can't call it a 2-meter board, but we'll call it a 2 sign. Anyways, going into turn 1 into Druids for the first time, making sure we spot our braking point. This is going to be our first real challenge here with the Honda NSX, and we get through it beautifully as we stick right behind the McGanns right ahead of us. So very interesting race. We were only given the softs and mediums, I believe. Actually, I apologize, it was just the mediums, but yeah, only given the mediums here. It was going to be a 1 stop since we had to do a mandatory pit stop. Now, a couple people elected to switch out the tires, but I decided not to. It's a 3-second hold, and 3 seconds here makes up for a big thing. So coming to turn number 1, we get into our very first mistake. And when I say again that Brands Hatch is my nemesis, I was not lying. This track is just very, very difficult. It's so fun when you get it right. I'm not gonna lie, when you time trial this racetrack and you're actually racing around with other people in a car that you can actually race with and go side by side with, it makes for a lot of fun. But once you make a huge mistake, it really does bite you in the ass. As you can see that we have lost about 4 positions here as we drop down, or actually 5 now, I can't count, as we drop down from P3 all the way down to P8. And now we are under pressure by Cyrus right behind us. Cool Twitch streamer here right behind us, so go check him out if you guys have not yet. But our main objective now is going to have to be to regain all the positions that we lost, and it's a lot easier said than done now as we have a drifting Honda NSX right ahead of us that thinks they're in Japan as they were trying to drift the corner in the back part of Brands Hatch. As we make a little bit of contact with his rear, just making a big of avoidance challenge as we can, as we avoided him drifting, we avoided his rear, and now we just have to get around him. As you can see, we are doing pretty well here. But as we head into the final corner now, we just attempt a little peek onto the inside, but we have to keep an eye on Cyrus. But we decided to come into the pits here with Hulk, as I just didn't want to get stuck behind all these other people and just fighting with them. You can see Cyrus decided to come in as well, and it was us and about 5 other drivers that decided just to come in now, as we were going to minimize the amount of time fighting with these guys and hopefully not lose too much time and try to get an undercut. But things didn't work out according to plan, as Cyrus goes in for the lunge on the inside of Druids, and he was able to make the move stick. We gave him plenty of room, and we now have lost 11th position. So if we can work with Cyrus here, then we should be all right now as we head into lap number 4. So into turn number 1, once again on lap number 4, we just go tapping white with Cyrus, and again we do the exact same mistake as we did 2 laps prior, and we lose another 2 positions. But not only that, we probably lost an extra 2 or 3 seconds on our race time. So in total, we probably lost about, I want to say, 7-8 seconds, which is fighting with the people, getting stuck behind, battling, and as well as just losing it just by going into the dirt. And this is not looking good. At this point, I was very, very frustrated, and I knew that that podium position I was trying to fight for is basically out the window. So 14th position now, we have Advanced Embryo right behind us, and he decided to go take a little peek onto the inside in the Lexus and try to go back in for a cheeky little cutback, but just could not get it done. We back out of the move, heading into the back end right-hander now as we get yellow flags up ahead. So not sure what happened up ahead, as we were just looking for the culprit, and you can see that now there is an unghosting green McGann up in 11th. So he must have spun out some part of the way there, but he has now caused a little queue here, formed a little train, as we now have a 5-car train here going to the final corner, but into the final corner the green Megane just gets more bad luck. So we actually have someone having a worse day than us and actually collects the black Megane as they both go out wide and both go spinning. And you already know that their days were ruined after that mistake right there, and kind of made me feel a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. Once you see other people messing up on the race, you just kind of sit back and relax and think to yourself, okay, it's not just me making these silly mistakes. And again, it's a very difficult track, very difficult. You go just a pixel too wide and it can cause catastrophic damage to your race. So you just always have to keep that in the back of your mind. Although your race is going worse, it could be going worse for other people, and you know, you just gotta continue on and just do as best you can. So here we go, back here in 11th. We're trying to see if we can get back into the top 10, as we still have the Brazilian and American fighting. So they decided to fight here for like the past 2 laps here, but heading to turn number 1, they make a little bit of contact as the Brazilian takes out the American, and the American goes spinning out onto the inside, almost collects us. That was very, very close. He made contact with our left hand side, but luckily he did not make contact with our left rear, because if he would have done that, then we would have gone spinning straight into the left, and that would have been more of a game over than what we have already experienced on this race. So finally we get a little bit of good luck, but I'm still just trying to calm down. Very, very frustrated that we're still back here, and we haven't really made up that much time, unlike Cyrus, because Cyrus is already catching up to the guys up ahead. So a couple more people come into the pits here, and the Brazilian goes wide on the exit, and we're going to take full advantage of that as we go into the straight into the inside to try to get around him as soon as possible before we head into turn number 1. Make sure that we brake as early as we can and just cut it straight into the inside, defend our position going into Druids. It's about our braking point right at the meter board, and there we go, guys. We are up into P9. Not only that, we got Fake Taxi EU right ahead of us in the Megane as well. So looks like he probably had a little bit of damage control, I guess, here. So he had a couple of mistakes due to the fact that he was with us in the beginning around the front. So it's not, like I said, it's not only me that's just going through this. But heading down the straight here, we get a really great run from the charging Brazilian. Tries to go to the left hand side, doesn't work out. He tries to go into the inside, but into the next corner he just decides to stay right behind us. And it's still this little battle here for 9th. And now I'm a little bit cautious with the Brazilian because you already saw that he took out the American. But as we come into the right-hander, Fake EU Taxi goes wide, goes straight into the barrier, and that's distracted me so much. I was not expecting it. I was very, very curious to see what was going on, and in doing so, I just lost all bit of concentration. Go wide. Luckily, we didn't end up going straight into the barrier, as that probably would have caused me just to rage. I would have honestly just paused and just quit because this race was just going horrible. But we went to the grass, and luckily we did save the car, but we did lose 2 positions due to that mistake. But I guess we gained 1 due to the fact that we got around Fake Taxi EU. So net gain of 0, basically. But as we go a little bit more further into the races, we are now on the final lap. We're still right behind Advance and Brio, and we basically have 1 lap to try to at least gain 1 more position. So we have Fake Taxi EU right behind us, hot on our butt, and you can see that he is fighting all over our rear. He is making contact with our rear now, heading into the middle part of the racetrack. We're keeping an eye on him, just seeing if he was going to go for the overtake into the next corner, but backs out of the move there. We get a really, really great run, and we try to get into the slipstream of the Brazilian right ahead of us. Now, see on the bottom left that the tires were just absolutely destroyed. Again, we decided to not change them out, as that would have caused an extra 3 seconds added to our race time, and I believe a lot of other people didn't change the tires. I think they were just coming in and just serving the mandatory pit stop, as that's basically the best way around for this strategy here, especially because if you pick the right car, it doesn't really destroy your tires. But with the Honda NSX, it's a very, very good car, but it does kind of shred your tires, so you have to be a little bit cautious here on the final 2 laps. But luckily for us, we've been able to keep it on the track and we've been able to defend against Fake Taxi EU as we come into the final corner. We've made up a lot of time on Advanced Embryo. Can we get the good run here off of the final corner? We are in the slipstream as we come down, drag racing to the line, and we come home in the 10th place position. And to be honest, with this race going as bad as it did, I'll take the 10th position. I thought it could have been a lot worse, but you can just see here, boys and girls, that we are not perfect and we do have our bad days here, but we just got to continue on and just push as much as we can and not finish in a worse spot. So hopefully this can help you guys out if you guys are having a bad day. But we're going to do one more race here and see if we can come home with a better finish. Now, as we jump into our second race, this was a race I did around Monza here in my alt account, and we're just starting off in the last place once again. So it's going to be a last to first challenge, but it's Monza, so it's very, very much of a gamble if you're going to even make it a position up. So we get our 3, 2, 1, away we go, heading into turn number 1. We spot the braking point right before the chicane, and luckily somehow everybody makes it through without any incidents. So this was very, very alarming to me. I did not think that was possible, that people can make it through turn number 1 without any crashing. I mean, there was a little bit of cars going a little bit sideways, but other than that, usually there's cars left and right just destroyed, and somehow we all made it. But chicane number 2 was a different story. As you guys were see, we get yellow flags, and there we go. We have cars basically all over the place. This is how turn 1 was supposed to look like, but somehow they were able to keep it all together until the second chicane, and we are now able to gain a couple of positions. Now, as we are going onto the inside here, we got another ghost coming out of Lesmo 1. Now heading into Lesmo 2, the Lamborghini and the Bugatti are both going side by side into there, and the Lamborghini was able to just easily get, or the Bugatti, I mean, it was able to get onto the outside, easily get around him. And we're going to take full advantage of that now, as we're going to gain another position here. So we went from P16 to P9 in the span of about half a lap. As we head into Ascari, I was expecting to destroy from behind, and luckily for us, we were able to get through it without anybody hitting us from the rear, as the Aston Martin goes a tad bit wide, goes almost spinning, and we were able to gain another position on him. So we basically made half the field up, or we passed half the field in the span of 1 lap, and I will take that. So we're gonna see now if we can get around this 7th place Bugatti, getting straight into the slipstream, going into turn number 1, brake right after the 150 meter board, and we are able to outbrake him here, as we could just go a tad bit too deep, but we're able to keep it under control, and we are now up into P7. So everything's still going very, very well here, as we're trying to make an overtake onto the inside of Rafa, the Brazilian, side by side into Curva Grande, and there we go, guys. We get a great run, and we're able to utilize the horsepower of the Bugatti and go all the way up to P Steve. So very, very good right now, as the Audi gets a really bad exit off of the second chicane. We're going to look onto the inside, head into Lesmo 1, but decided to back out. Just want to take a nice easy line. Maybe we can get him when we head into the penalty zone, but the Audi goes a bit wide, just touches that dirt, slows himself down, and we are able to make the move heading into Lesmo 2. But it's still not over here, as the guys up ahead did have to start the penalties, and where the penalty zone is on this racetrack, that half a second penalty basically turns into a 1 second penalty, and you can see right here the difference in speed, as we're able to just sneak it onto the inside of the Lamborghini. And now P4 is in our hands, as we are now going to try to see if we can shoot for a podium. Why not? 3rd place is not too far up ahead, and we still got 2 laps left, so anything is possible now. So on to lap number 3, we have caught up to Kenny in 3rd place, as we head into the second chicane, brake right after the 150 meter board once again, hit our first apex, hit our second apex, as we try to get a great run on the exit. Take a little peek onto the inside of Kenny, but again, just decide, you know what, let's just stay on the racing line, make sure that we get a great run off of Lesmo 2, utilize that slipstream, and we could probably get him before we get into Ascari. So we brake right after the 50 meter board, take our line, and he actually got a really bad exit. We're able to just sneak into the right hand side, not lose too much momentum on the exit of Lesmo 2, and there we go, guys, side by side, get around Kenny, and we are now up into the podium. So there we go, guys. We objective complete, but we still have about a lap and a half left as we come into Ascari. Maybe we can try to go for that P2 and that P1. I don't know. I was thinking to myself, maybe, just maybe. I mean, we're gaining time on them, but we have to put in the perfect lap of all laps. So heading into the first chicane now, we are gaining on the Viper just a little bit here as we head into Curva Grande, and that gap has basically turned from about a 2-second gap down to a 7/10 of a gap. And you guys already know, once you get into that magical number of 3/4 of a split time to the car up ahead, you get into that magical slipstream, and we are utilizing the slipstream, baby. Let's see if we can try to catch up to him now as we head into the second chicane. We get a really great run off of the exit, and we're trying to go onto the left hand side of the Viper, but the Viper is trying to push us out, and he puts us into the grass, and that really annoyed me there as we head into Lesmo 1. Try to get the cutback here, and I knew if we head into Lesmo 2 and he tries to do any fancy move, he's going to be the one taking the brute force of it. And it looked like he did, as he makes a little bit of contact with our left hand side. We make contact with his right rear, and at this point I'm a little on edge, just wanting to get around him as soon as possible, especially because we're on the outside once again. Is he going to push us into the grass side by side into Lesmo, or into the Ascari chicane? We make contact again, and this time we are fighting back. We're going to be beating and banging with him as he gets us right off of the Ascari chicane, and we are back into the slipstream heading into Parabolica for the final time. So right here we're gonna have to go for the lunge of the century, and if we make contact, we make contact. He has shown me that he is not trying to race clean. As we hit our braking point again, he hits me into the inside. We make contact, we go into the grass, but that actually hurts him more, and we are now able to get ahead of him off of Parabolica. And just to show my dissatisfaction, I decided to send him to the wall and just show a little bit of a bloatiness there because of the way that he was racing me. And we were able to come home, guys, from P16. Remember, guys, we started all the way in the back, all the way up into P2. And who knows, maybe if we couldn't got around the Viper a lot sooner, we probably could have fought maybe for the first place position. But yeah, second place, we'll take it. Especially after that very first race we had. It was just terrible, that one at Brands Hatch. So yeah, let me know how you guys are doing around this week at Brands Hatch and at Willow Springs. I know a lot of you guys have been saying that it's very fun, but again, like I said, once you guys make the mistake, your race basically goes south from there, and it just turns into the worst race ever. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing in the comments down below. Leave a like on the video if you guys really enjoyed the video. It really helps us out on the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn that red button into a gray button. And if you guys really enjoyed the video, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.